So thank you for joining me, Fabien, to discuss the launch of On the Road. Thank you very, very much for joining me, giving some information and some background about what happened to the launch.
Yeah. Hi, first of all, thanks for hosting me. Maybe I start with a short introduction for English
Yes.
viewer who never seen me before. I'm Fabien with a French last name Boulet. I'm working for Aerosoft since almost 11 years now, and working mainly as a producer on all our titles. So I keep my hand over to the developer relationship to our publisher relationship. And yeah, on the road, console version, Xbox version. There are no other words than that wasn't a great one. To
No.
say it really, really, really in a nice way, in a monetization way for YouTube. Actually, we not thought that it's going that bad.
And it's
Maybe
great
let's.
that you're upfront admitting that. That's great. That's the first step, isn't it? You know, it didn't go well. It wasn't successful. How did it happen? Why did it happen? And how can we move on? That's really what we want to
Yeah,
discuss today, isn't it? So how did the launch come about like it did?
yeah, that's what I wanted to start. Let's roll back to before release. Actually, we finished developing the game. The next step always are the same. Like you go to a dedicated quality assurance, studio. We're
Hmm.
working with a studio for years now, which is mainly known in the industry from Romania. And they checked the game. They checked it on PlayStation. Everything went fine. There might be some minor issues like performance drops, but we've been aware of that. Shortly after, they tested it on Xbox. Let me mention, without breaking any NDA, there is a company which kind of works for the Xbox, and they have development tools. The
Okay.
development tools is just one hardware,
Yeah.
but the platform of Xbox variate in hardware. So you have the base model, you
Yep.
have
Yep.
the series up to the Series X and
Mm.
S right now, but there's
Understand. Yep.
just one development tool. Also, the studios using development tools, you actually need to use them for debug issues, because if a
Yeah.
crash comes up, you kind of want to have an error log where you can check where did it crash and so on.
Hmm.
So the quality assurance service or studio did run the tests as well. There's like a checklist, and it did run fine. So finally, the day came. Finally, after years, we can submit to Microsoft and Sony. Everything went well. Both of the platform owners have their own dedicated certification process, and no crash appeared. So everything is fine for us. Everything is fine for them. And let's get into the store. Keep in mind, until this point, we are unable to run the game on a retail console.
Yeah. On the dev
Because
console. Yeah.
you need to run it on the dev console because it got an entitlement flag, so you
Yeah.
can't run it on retail. Everything went fine. Few months later, actually, version came online. Um, about 1.5 week before release, we finished the work on the so-called day one patch,
Yeah.
and it submitted to Sony and Microsoft. We always try to submit immediately on the same day both platforms, and that did happen here as well. Sony shortly came back with, here we go, your patch is ready to go,
Yeah.
it will be ready for release. Microsoft struggled. They seem to find some issues, mainly focused on the mirrors, actually, because they've been not okay that the customer can decide to switch between a performance mode and a graphic
Yep.
more graphical intensive mode, so-called mirror mode for us, and failed the patch. So release came, and actually the day after release, I woke up and logged into my Xbox dashboard and saw like, whoa, there are more than 17,000 crashes.
Hmm.
So
Okay, but let me just roll back a little bit then. You said that it
yeah,
went through some kind of QA. You
yeah,
said you finished development on the game and it went to QA, but I was lucky enough to have the code early. We streamed it early, which was great, and you allowed me to do that. And within the first hour, I found all of these bugs. I found
yeah.
that the scanner wasn't working. I found that when you removed an employee, the truck shot up in the air. Why were them things not picked up before? They sound fairly sort of basic
The,
bugs.
yeah, they've been in the day one patch. that's why you don't have these bugs on PlayStation. At last, not every of these bugs. The Scania one is actually a graphic glitch where the camera goes off, which is fixed also with the day one patch.
Yeah.
Which one was it else? Yeah, the crash bug is fixed with the day one patch.
Yeah.
Normally the mirrors would be fixed, and the employee bug is kind of fixed. We still noticing it happens sometimes, but we are not.
What's that,
yet
on the higher button or just in general? Are you talking about the truck shooting up in the air?
Well, going up into the air.
It makes some great videos, but it's not funny
definitely
for.
Does,
it's not funny for paying customers, is it? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of these bugs simply been addressed in the day one patch, which was ready a week, and that's actually what the console platform owners tell us a week before. You should have this patch ready, and it was ready. We didn't expect it to fail, especially just on one platform, because everyone is blaming, like, you hate Xbox, you hate Xbox.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think some of it has been, and I know we spoke about this before, this sort of lack of communication on, okay, you put stuff out on Facebook, but a lot of that is German facing, which I totally understand. But on the Aerosoft channel, there's no mention of the game until just the actual release. On Twitter, there's no mention of the game. And I think a lot of people don't use Facebook. I don't particularly use Facebook, and obviously there's walls of German text, not a problem, but you're a German company, and I think a lot of it is, especially for English speaking customers, felt that you haven't been communicating, and therefore maybe you don't want to do the Xbox version. That's the way that you've come across at this stage, I have to say. You only have to read my comments to understand how people are thinking,
Definitely. Let me pick up a few of the most talked topics about the Xbox.
Yeah.
First of all, let's start with, why is there no retail version for the Xbox?
Yeah.
Simply because it's completely a different way. For Sony, you can produce your own disc. Actually, you tell Sony, they produce it, they ship them to you. On Microsoft, it's a way more complicated process, where there are just a few dedicated partners who are able to actually create these discs. And everyone wants to take their cut, and simply there's doing Xbox box version or physical version actually would bring in, like, sell 100 boxes, comparing to maybe 5 download versions or something like that. That's why it absolutely makes no sense for us.
Yeah, no, I don't think people have necessarily got a problem with it not being on disc. I don't think that's the issue here.
Actually, really a lot of people claim that this is why we hate Xbox.
Okay.
Second thing is the steering wheel support on Xbox.
Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward one, because obviously I did ask you, and you did say Microsoft and Logitech and Thrustmaster, so I obviously passed the information on, and then it wasn't until everyone got their hands on the Xbox version, they're like, look, the wheel's not working. I got so many messages, as I'm sure you did as well. I got inundated with, how can I get my wheel working? How can I get my wheel working? At what stage will the wheels work on the Xbox?
Let's start why is it not working, and then I'm telling you when
okay,
they will
yeah,
work.
That's cool. Yeah.
For Sony, they've been working since day one. They're simply a dedicated API for wheels.
Yeah.
You get a wheel, you set it up in the API, it's working. For Microsoft, it's way more complicated. There's no API. Every manufacturer creates their own API, and you need to get working for them. And it's not the nicest code. It's really legacy code, where it makes it really hard to get adjusted to them. That's why right now one wheel is working on Xbox. I'm not mentioning which one, because...
Oh, well, so one's working.
There's one, because actually the documentation tells you, there's like an API, but there's none. But we right now getting as much as possible wheels and setting them up. It's not the nicest work for the developers, but it's a needed work. We're starting with Logitech, especially with Logitech G20. Is that the Xbox
G920?
Yeah, that's the one. Also with Thrustmaster, because Thrustmaster actually have their own API over all their wheels. So they claim if one is working, everyone should working. Everything should working. And when does this happen in game? It will be in patch 3. But
Patch 3.
maybe
Okay.
yeah, but maybe let's then jump once to talk about what is included in which patch, what
Yeah,
is our
yeah, yeah.
timeline.
Let's please do that. What can customers expect in this
Yeah.
first patch that you've now submitted and should be live any day? What are they going to get on the Xbox?
Okay, the first patch right now is Xbox only. This is actually the PlayStation Day 1
Yep.
patch. It will bring stability, so the game shouldn't crash. I can later send you a screenshot of the quality insurance studio, which you
Yep.
can include in this video, where they
Yes. Yeah.
played
Please do.
80
Yeah.
hours and there have been no crash at all on Xbox-based console.
Okay.
It does also include some minor tweaks, which are not like something I would mention here.
No.
But
Yeah.
it's
Like the horn, like the horn being a proper horn rather than the car horn. Is that sort of thing? Yeah.
Not yet, but it's more
Okay.
like tiny issues with like tutorial messages and so on, because
Okay.
Microsoft been asking us to not include any features or anything in this patch. They
Just get it
wanted
working.
just get it working with
Okay.
they actually gave us a deadline of 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's why you mentioned in your last video, why didn't we pull it from sale?
Yeah.
We couldn't. Microsoft simply frees the game for 2 weeks.
Okay.
And you're just allowed to submit like the stability patch.
Yeah. Yeah.
But already patch number 2 is ready. Patch number 2 will be for PlayStation and Xbox.
So what's that going to give us then?
It will bring both on the same platform again.
First so mirrors on the Xbox.
Yes, mirrors on the Xbox, as long as Microsoft is now happy with our implementation.
Yep.
That's still something we're discussing with them, but it looks promising, I would say.
Okay.
It will remove every found invisible wall. It will fix like the flying employee trucks. It will fix the scrolling issue in menus.
Yep.
It will fix the driver's card, the European control card.
Yes. Yeah, that doesn't work properly. Yeah. Yeah.
And minor other stuff. I don't have the list right now up, as it's already. Okay. I finished work a few hours ago.
So patch 3 on the Xbox, is that at the moment just wheels, or have you got other features that you're trying to bring in at this stage?
Right. After that, patch 3 will come to both platforms again. So after patch 2, we bring both platforms.
Okay.
Try to keep them always on the same level.
Yeah.
It's horrible to have different versions out for support and everything.
Yeah.
It will bring wheels for Xbox. It will bring AI adjustments. We're currently working hard on fixing the AI.
Yeah.
And we already have on the list for patch 3, as the work hasn't finished, the stuff like remaining kilometers in the navigation tool.
Perfect.
There's stuff like changing skins for the trucks. We can't bring modding support on the console because the platform owner are not happy of customer producing like UPS trucks and having brands in there, but we want to give customer a few different skins.
Of course, yeah, of course it's needed.
Choose some.
Yeah.
And
so that's very close to being implemented, different customization, even if it's just colors at this stage.
Yeah, it won't be, you can't pick your own colors yet, but it will be like there's 5 or 10 different skins.
Yeah, that's fine.
Select
that's
the
good.
one you like mostly.
Yes.
And yeah, these are the main topics. There's still a list of common issues. Right now, what we do, if anyone reports a bug, we please, if you report bugs, don't post them on Facebook, your YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, wherever. It only actually helps us if you email your bugs to support@aerosoft.com, because we can then take a proper list which bugs or even feature come up and in the list, and we try to sort them and get them fixed in the order of appearance, as well in order of how damaging, I would call this bug. And also like feature requests, like the remaining kilometers have been a
and I asked you a little while ago for a look left and right feature, didn't I? And a reset button, so we can reset the view once you look left and right.
The look left and right is also right on the list. It's not as high yet, but it was like if the one you mentioning is like if you steer to the left, you automatically should look to the left or right to the right. Yeah, but that's also on the list. It's a quite harder one because you want to make this one like real, because
Yeah.
not too fast, not too slow, and so on.
Yeah.
And there's some other adjustments like lightning adjustment, so to get the screen more light up, or
Exposure. Yeah.
color correction,
Yeah.
exposure things, and stuff like this. There's a lot on the
Okay, well that's
list.
good. That's what customers want to hear. Let me just go back slightly to the mirrors. Why are the mirrors such an issue? Is it the Unity engine? Is it poor optimization within the Unity engine? Or is it the consoles? I mean, it works on SnowRunner, and what part of it? What part is the problem for mirrors in this game?
I think you mentioned all three parts. It's Unity, because Unity isn't the smartest engine if you talk about mirrors, because a mirror is simply a camera, and
Yeah.
if you see it in the mirror, it's like rendering it 2 times.
Yes.
If you have 3 mirrors or even 4 mirrors with the top one,
Yeah.
you have 4 cameras. It's on the road simply. The game map is like, well, every one of you played it. It's huge.
Yeah.
Name a game which have such a huge map, to be honest.
Yeah. On console.
And, yeah. And it's simply the console itself. The Xbox, especially the base console, where we struggle most with, isn't a great compute machine anymore. It's like I guess my iPhone has as much power as it does right now.
When you switch the mirrors on the PlayStation, I did notice that it's almost like the game runs at a slower clock speed. Is that something that is going to happen, or is that due to optimization? It feels weird in a funny kind of way. It feels okay because the game sort of slows down, but in another breath, it sort of, I don't know. It just feels like it's running at a quarter speed.
Know what you
is that always going to be like that?
We're trying to optimize it, but it will only be optimized up to a level.
Yeah, of course,
I can't name any level, but we're working on that. It's actually we try to drop not as much frames, because it would be horrible to play with like 16 FPS.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And Unity is offering something like a reality tick system on how often the physics should be updated.
Yeah.
And we're reducing that slightly. This is like the heaviest impact on CPU on console, and CPU is a bottleneck. And by reducing that, the game simply, it feels slower. It's like your truck just got less horsepower and it's not moving as strongly forward as you would expect.
Yeah, it definitely felt like it was running at a slower clocking rate, you know?
And that's, it will always be kinda like this.
Yeah.
But we're still working on optimizing that, and it will get better over patches. Because simply we will get more information, more data. Because think of Martin, the developer with Toxtronic, is a studio with 5 employees.
Yeah.
And
I know it's a very small team. Yeah.
We at Aerosoft are even 30 people. But let's put 10 are really game related, other are accountant and so on and so on. And having such a game run on maximum of 20 machines is something else than having it run on more than 10,000 customers.
Yeah.
And the main thing we can promise for sure is that on the road won't get dropped.
No, that's what we want to hear. I mean, it's such a shame that the game launched in this condition, because I've said it all the way through. This game has got so much potential to be the trucking game on console, and it is such a shame that this has happened. What about the AI? Now, the AI drops in from the sky. I'm sure you've seen it yourself, and it's not the best AI. If you
no, definitely not.
He's laughing. If you interact with it in any way, it can break the game for that particular moment. Yeah. Now, I know you're moving on to the PlayStation 5. But before you move on to yet another console, should and will that be sorted? Or would the PlayStation 5 just be graphical improvements, but with the same inherent problems?
You did start with something I wanted to pick up, but let's talk about the AI first.
Yeah.
The dropping from the sky. The dropping from the sky is simply an issue right now. We hardly working on to find a solution. The problem if we spawn the AI too far away, we need to spawn too much AI.
Yeah.
And some games use like a fog in the field of distance, but this feels super weird in the truck simulator,
Hmm.
especially on the autobahn and so on, if you can't see far enough. And
I think
that's
it
why
wouldn't be so bad if they didn't drop in. If they just appeared at the right level, would be something. It's the fact that they drop in.
The drop-in is actually right now needed. We're working on another solution to not get AI stuck in the ground. Because with different height level, Unity just offer, here's a spawn rate, and if you try to spawn it right on Z0, it often gets stuck in the ground. We're trying right now to reduce the dropping frame to a minimum, like a few centimeters, so you won't notice this as much.
Yeah.
But it's not that easy to find a solution because Germany isn't flat. Let's put it that way.
No, I understand. Yeah, no, and I think the map itself, and I love the whole concept of the game. And like going back to what I've just said, it was such a shame. How can you at this stage, and how can you win over Xbox customers? What can you do? What can you promise?
Let me promise something afterwards. But first,
Okay.
talk about the AI
Okay.
a bit more in PlayStation 5.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
The AI, we currently reworking the complete AI system. It's been based on shooting out a ray card, so a laser in front of it, and there's something in it, I will stop. But it often gets overcomplicated by other AI vehicles and so on, and it right now prioritize other AI vehicles more than the player vehicle.
Okay, yeah.
Right now we dropped it completely and reworking it, so it won't be a fix within weeks, but it looks like it should be a fix within the next months.
But it is something you're prioritizing and you are working on.
Definitely hardly working on. I think that's actually the main focus point after fixing the stability and minor issues, I would call it. Because I've been driving myself. I'm coming from the gas station and the car hits in myself. And I was like, that's not what we expected, especially because on PC it did not happen as often because the AI could simply ask more often, hey, is something in my ray cast or isn't it?
Yeah.
On console, we need to reduce it. It will be fixed. I can't name any date right now for that one because it's not like a tiny thing to
no, I know. Big work over
recreate, but we definitely will work on it. Next thing, the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 version is actually ready since PlayStation 4 release.
Right.
We did hold it back because we didn't have the physical version. That was the main issue, and right now we stopped all work on it to get the platform stable.
Of course, yeah, you would expect that.
But if we wouldn't care, we would simply release it. Let's put it that way. Sony actually asked us to release it, and we said we are not happy with the version right now.
Okay.
We currently need to focus on other things than that. So after patch 3, we will update the PlayStation 5 version as well and see how things going. I can't promise a release on that one yet.
No, that's fine.
We want to see how it's going. Mentioning the PlayStation 5, people ask, "Oh, you hate Xbox because there's no next-gen Xbox version."
Yeah, that is a good question, actually. Yeah. Please answer that.
No, we don't hate it.
Please answer that. Yeah.
There's a company again which kind of is related to the Xbox, and they are running behind demand of dev tools.
Okay.
I personally never seen Xbox next-gen dev tool yet. We've been exchanging many studios, more than I could name, discussing with Microsoft how to get a dev kit.
Oh, so you literally haven't got a dev kit for Xbox yet? Okay.
I can't mention this, but that's something you said.
Okay.
But I would love to get my hand on next-gen Xbox as well. And as soon I can get my hands on, we would be stupid to not work on an Xbox next-gen version. Because why shouldn't we?
Okay, let me just put forward some of the reasons that possibly you might not be working on based on discussions in stream and all that sort of stuff. Is it that you can possibly charge for the PlayStation 5 version, but you can't under Xbox because it's smart release? If you get one, you get all the versions. But with what's happening with the PlayStation 5 version, is it going to be free? Is it going to be an upgrade cost?
First of all, you can charge on both platforms.
Okay.
That's something up to the publisher and platform owner. Right now,
Okay.
we are discussing with Sony to
Yep.
offer a free upgrade, because we always been offering free upgrades.
Yeah.
We always claim, like, don't pay twice for same code.
Of course.
Or at last pay a reduced price.
Yeah.
But for us, it would be mainly about getting it for free to customers.
Yeah.
And it looks promising. Sony seem to understand what we want to offer, and if possible, we for sure will be handing it out of charge.
Okay.
On
That's
PlayStation
good.
as well as on Xbox. Don't pay twice for same code.
No, I'd hope not.
We try to find other solutions, as we did for some Steam games and so on, which mainly are then handed through our own online shop.
Yeah.
If platform owners do not allow free upgrades.
Okay. Before we move on from the PlayStation 5 then, could you just give us a brief overview of what's going to be different or improved on the PlayStation 5 version? What are you going to utilize in the machine?
From what I've seen in the version, because I've been playing it for a few weeks now, or even a month now, it will be mainly a graphic improvement. I would compare it to PC level.
Yeah.
And it will include stuff like AI people walking around the streets and so on.
Okay, that would be good.
And simply it would render in 4K.
Yeah. Oh, lovely.
And higher performance.
Yeah, of course.
So FPS, actually.
Okay.
But there are no features besides the AI people which would be included. Because also here we want to keep the platform.
Yeah, you want the game the same,
to be on one level.
Yeah.
Just people who can afford the PlayStation 5 should not be excluded with a truck or something like that.
Totally understand that,
Everyone should have the same experience, just like slightly adjustments which are only allowed by having more compute power are included.
Yeah, cool. So to go back to my question, I don't know if you want to finish up on the AI or the PlayStation. I think we've done that.
No,
but what can you now, it's hard, isn't it? I'm sure you had a few refund requests, and obviously the Xbox people are extremely unhappy, understandably. What can you now do to win back their trust and to prove to them that the game is, of course, supported by you? What does the future hold for the Xbox version in particular?
First of all, to the refunds, yes, people asking us for refunds, but we are unable to give refunds. Bought it by Microsoft, please, if you...
Please stop asking.
No, you ask, but we can only tell we can't help you with that one.
No, I understand.
If you feel unhappy and feel uncomfortable, and you can always ask at Microsoft for a request.
Understand,
I kind of would do the same and check the game again later. But what I can promise, more or less what I've told, patch 1 will bring stability, patch 2 will bring all the other improvements which we promised, like mirrors and so on. In what way ever, I just can say it might be a reduced way from PlayStation to Xbox with the mirrors, and they might not render as far, but we would love to bring the mirrors in the same quality as PlayStation. Patch 3 will bring AIs and steering wheel. And after that, we will work on your feedback. Many people requesting new trucks. That's something we have on our mind. And bringing new brands, or maybe if we couldn't get agreements with brands, at last unbranded new trucks. And adding new cities to Germany. Actually, there are a few cities already close to being finished, but we haven't finished them simply because we right now focusing on the bugs and stability. So I can promise we support on the road. It's not done. It's not done feature-wise. It's not done stability-wise. It's not done content-wise. And we also looking for this great success on the console and support of many people, because as many people as they blaming us, so many people sending us emails, hey, we see you actually up, but
you're trying to sort it.
We believe in this title. Thanks how you communicate, thanks how open you are for discussions and so on, and not like yeah, you bought it. We don't care. We got your
Hmm.
money,
Yeah.
and yeah, we're looking into might bring a few more content patches for free,
Okay.
and which we normally would done as DLCs, I would say.
I think that would be great as a sort of gesture, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. So the future is hopefully bright for On the Road, and you want to. Are you ever going to expand it? We're getting outside of the conversation a little bit, but will you ever expand it outside Germany? Will it always be a German-based game?
I don't think we will.
Okay.
Not in On the Road, because simply adding new areas in the map is like close to impossible.
Yeah, but you can
and
improve on the detail on the road
yeah,
system within what you've already got. Yeah,
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 definitely. Numbers telling us there's a high demand on the road, and we believe it's been out for 2 weeks now, and we believe there's still many people who are waiting, who actually might not even hear of on the road, and one will buy it in the future, and this
yeah.
allows us to simply put more and more energy in this title and allow the developer to get new people as well, because
Yeah.
this is actually required to get more content, faster content, but it's not like flipping a switch,
No, I
because
know. Yeah, yeah,
people need to get into the project and so on. But on the road is not a month project, it's not a year project. It might be even supported in 5 years and
yeah.
get
That's good to
updates
hear.
and so on,
That is good
because
to hear.
that's actually what we did on PC, starting from the early access. And I recently just uploaded a podcast with a good friend, a YouTuber, a German one, which we host, where Martin Bayer, the head of Toxtronic, was online,
Yep.
and he explains the journey of On the Road. We had the game finished 4 years ago and did an engine switch from the C4 to Unity and
All
so
right.
on.
Yeah.
It's now a 7-year-old project. Many people in the company are younger than On the Road,
Yeah.
actually.
Exactly. Yeah.
And definitely it will follow for the next 7 years. But please don't expect, like making huge jumps.
Hmm.
That's not what's gonna happen.
I think at the
Once
moment
that,
people are happy with the concept. They just want it to work. What
yeah,
you've offered so far, that's all they want. And of course, we want new features and we want the
yeah,
world.
but
But
so many people are
yeah,
claiming like, why isn't there a new truck out yet? There won't be a new truck in the
no.
next 3 months.
But we
Let's
do
call
want
it
the
that
trucks that
way.
are in the game fully
Yeah,
working. That's all the
and
customers want.
that should be done really soon.
Good.
Actually, I waiting for the email from Microsoft any minute
Okay.
that say
And then it
hopefully you
will go
can
live
improve that.
automatically, will it? People will just automatically download it.
Definitely.
Okay. How should customers be kept up to date with On the Road? Because, like I said, there's no mention of it now on the Aerosoft YouTube channel or Twitter. Where should customers come to keep absolutely up to date about this game?
The Twitter issue will be solved.
Okay.
On the Road Facebook page, definitely, because that's the most game dedicated Facebook page where you can
I'll put all
stay.
these links in the description, by the way.
My personal YouTube channel, where I did speak out about the release on the road, it's German, but also On the Road videos got English subtitle. Keep in mind they are mostly auto-generated and they might be a bit off at some
That's
points,
fine. You
but
can come and talk to me at any time when you've got English
they should
speaking
follow.
comments to make.
But also, that's what I wanted to mention last. I honestly want to offer to be more often here and speak about the patch. Once the next patch is close to release, we can do a short patch rundown and
I
so
would love
on.
that. Yeah, I would love that.
And yeah, I'm always there in the comments to read all the comments or comment on these. Please allow me just to breathe a bit. All the team is working really hard and didn't have any weekends the last, actually months to get this release going, because every one of you seen how often we needed to delay the game, and we're more than happy that it's out now, and we can actually work on bringing you guys the game you asked for.
Yeah. and paid for. I know that most
And paid for.
people, I know that most people are supportive of the game, and they're happy to even just uninstall it for now and wait for the future and reinstall it and start playing. So I know you've got a good backing. I know you've got a. Obviously, not everybody is happy, but I know most people are now happy to go. Okay, we've heard from Fabien now. Now we can wait for these 1, 2, 3 patches and whatever the future holds. But I do thank you for coming on, Fabien, and just explaining. And like I say, I would love to chat to you again when the future patches come out.
Sure. Thanks for hosting. Yeah, everyone else, we are really, really sorry. We had Aerosoft, and the people at Toxtronics are really sorry about the hassle we did, and hopefully you can enjoy On the Road really, really, really soon with the first patch, and after that, just get more joy out of it.
Thank you very much, Fabien.
Yeah, have a great one. Bye-bye.
So hopefully this video has given you a little bit of background information and a little bit of history about what the problem was with the launch, what they're doing to fix it, and to most importantly bring you a fully working title. I did mostly ask questions on the Xbox because that is the weakest link at the moment. I will of course in future videos press him on other matters, but it really was getting about information about the launch, the problems, and what they're doing about it to get you that fully working game. I'd love to know in the comments section below, did this ease your fears? Are you more relaxed about the situation now? Are you still not happy? Do you think I asked the right questions? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments section below. More videos like this coming soon, interviewing developers. It's something I love to do. But that is it, everyone. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one.